Hey folks, Michael Anthony here with the Exceptional Life podcast, and excited to bring you another episode. I'm going to be reading an article here that I have printed up and talking specifically about it along the way, putting a little context around it. Let's go ahead and hop in. So the title of this podcast is There is Comfort in Discomfort. There is comfort in discomfort. So you might be wondering, what in the world is he talking about? So this is going to talk a lot about how you are conditioned to essentially live your life in certain ways, to pursue pleasure, to pursue comfort, and it may not be all it's cracked up to be. And this is essentially what this podcast is all about, right? This is to empower you, to motivate and inspire you, to take life by the horns, to be the ambassador of your life so you can live an exceptional life, right? And one of the reasons I really wanted to draw your attention through audio on this specific podcast is because there's some real pearls of wisdom in these words that I'm about to read you. Okay, so I'm going to be reading an article here. This article is called Get Comfortable with Discomfort. Get Comfortable with Discomfort. So this is right along the lines of the title of this episode, which is something I focus on daily, weekly, monthly, all throughout the year. This article was written by Thomas Opong, and it's just a few pages long. So I'm going to be reading through this article and adding some of my own notes and context to it. And like I said, there is pearls of wisdom in these words. And if you can start to wrap your head around the words that I'm going to be speaking here and some of the points and perspectives that are in this article, as well as some of my own knowledge that I'm going to share with you, then you could really start to affect your life dramatically in amazing ways. So the reason I'm going to read this article specifically is because I have a reminder set in my phone that pops up a couple times throughout the week. And it reminds me to read this article again. I reread it because you only retain a certain amount of the information when you're reading. And so it's vital to reread important pieces of information and literature and try to reabsorb information that perhaps you missed on the first time around. So I'm reading this article weekly, and I'm always, picking up new insight and value from it. And it's reminding me of important points and perspectives to make my life much more enhanced, more exceptional, right? So let's go and get started here. And hopefully you could start to feel some of the insight and value that I have, and perhaps even set a reminder for yourself to maybe listen to this episode on a weekly basis or a daily basis or whatever fits your schedule. And I'm also going to put the link to this article down in the description of this video so you can save it for yourself, read it, look at it. But let's hop right in here. Discomfort brings engagement and change. Discomfort means you're doing something others are unlikely to do, because they're hiding out in the comfortable zone. Seth Godin. That's a great way to open up that article, right? Basically saying that discomfort means you're doing something that other people are probably not doing. And a lot of times, on the other side of that discomfort is freedom, is exceptionalism, right? On the other side of those discomfort feelings that you have towards certain activities, beliefs, goals and objectives, the reason you're procrastinating, right? On the other side of that is abundance, prosperity, exceptional health and well-being, right? And this can fit into all areas of your life. So let's hop back into the article and continue reading here, okay? The secret to success lies in the very thing you're avoiding. Those things that seem to break you down and humble your spirit. Seek out discomfort. Be deliberate about doing things that push your limits magnificently. Difficulty helps us grow. If you want long-term success, stop avoiding what's hard and embrace it now. If you're truly pushing yourself to improve in any capacity whatsoever, you are uncomfortable. When you are challenged, you are asked to become more than you were. That means creating new perspectives, acquiring new skills, and pushing boundaries. In other words, you have to expand your understanding in order to be able to overcome the obstacles facing you. If everything is too good, you're probably stuck not being awesome. I'm going to reread that one. If everything is too good, you're probably stuck not being awesome. When I first read that sentence, it just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. It's such an important perspective on things, right? Because I think a lot of people get stuck in the idea that there's like an end goal that they're facing, right? Making a certain amount of money, having a certain type of relationship, having a certain house, a certain job, a certain this, a certain that, a certain vehicle to drive, whatever. There's always like this end result. But the funny thing is, if you're depending on that to be happy and you get to that specific goal, that specific threshold that you've set for yourself in some area of your life, when you get there, it's awesome. It's phenomenal, right? It's a great feeling to accomplish a goal or reach a certain threshold on your income or find that amazing spouse that you're going to spend the rest of your life with or get that dream home, right? I've been there in all areas of my life personally. One of the funny things is once you get there and the novelty of it wears off, then it kind of leaves you feeling almost a little bit empty, because you're wondering what's next. And so that's the beauty in that statement. I'm going to read it one more time. If everything is too good, you're probably stuck not being awesome. So what I take from that is it's awesome to reach your goals. It's awesome to hit those thresholds, to hit those objectives and overcome obstacles. It's amazing to get the house of your dreams, the job of your dreams, to do something that you are desiring and dreaming to do. But it doesn't stop there. You got to continue pushing yourself. You got to continue stepping outside your comfort zone. You got to continue moving forward. And that's what being in the present moment's all about. That's what being grateful is all about. Because if you're not grateful for all of these amazing things that you have in your life, then you're going to feel even more empty. So when that novelty wears off, a lot of people crash and burn. That's why you see these celebrities and these millionaires killing themselves and whatnot. I mean, they have depended on other things outside of them to make them happy. And they've achieved so much that's incredible. And I'm sure it felt incredible to achieve those each step of the way. But life doesn't stop there. And if you're not being grateful for achieving those, you're not reassuring yourself of that gratitude every single day. You're not present with yourself in the moment. You're not being happy before you reach those goals, before you have those things or those relationships, then you're going to feel really empty inside. So not only do you have to put yourself outside of that comfort zone and continue striving forward, but you got to be grateful. You have to be in the moment. You have to be present. You have to be happy and be willing to be happy and grateful before you have what you're after. And so this kind of plays into that. This plays into my message and what I believe and what I pursue in my life. And it's made me so much more grounded and present in my life. So let's continue on with the article here. Learning to be comfortable with discomfort is one of the most important skills you can ever have to live a truly fulfilling life. If you learn this skill, you can master pretty much anything. Pamela Madsen, author of Shameless, explains, I don't think that staying with discomfort comes naturally. And finding ways to be with your discomfort is an essential skill for staying in the race. Any personal growth usually involves some kind of ability to stay with feelings of discomfort. Let's face it, if you are a seeker of any kind, you will push boundaries. When we reach for personal transformation and start pushing edges and boundaries in our lives, we meet the big work. And feelings of discomfort and wanting to flee from change surface. If you master discomfort, you can master just about anything. Discomfort is very much a part of my master plan. Jonathan Lethem. Discomfort can be the joyful key that opens up everything for you. You can beat procrastination, start a new habit, learn a new language, make it through challenges and physically grueling events, explore new things, speak on a stage, and even embrace the minimalist lifestyle. These tasks may seem more painful at first, but you'll achieve more that can impact your end result, and that will be just the start. Repetition expands your comfort boundaries. If you practice your discomforts enough with different activities, your comfort zone will expand to include discomfort, and then you can master your personal bubble. Think about it. How many things were once uncomfortable for you which you now accept without difficulty? Unfortunately, many people avoid discomfort. They do everything they can to avoid it. They're just too comfortable to be pushed or bothered to make a change or improve their lives. This is perhaps the biggest limiting factor for most people, and it's why you can't change your habits. But the good news is, whatever you are feeling discomfort about, there is someone else out there feeling exactly the same thing. You are never really alone in your discomfort. Sometimes just knowing that can make us feel more comfortable in pushing beyond the obvious. Discomfort is a catalyst for progress. Don't limit your challenges. Challenge your limits. Jerry Dunn. Think of the mind as a muscle that naturally tightens up over time unless it is consciously worked upon. Your personal growth significantly depends on new challenges and activities. Tackle the fear that has kept you from living your best life. Your mind has a way of rising to the occasion. Challenge it, and it will reward you. So I love that paragraph and some of those statements there. They're just all so powerful. And that's how I came up with this quote that I say quite a bit. I say it to people, I say it to my friends and family. I have it written in my office, and it's just that simple statement, that simple quote. There is comfort in discomfort. And I think people get conditioned to believe that real comfort lies in pleasure and, like I said earlier, in being comfortable, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it becomes very habitual, and it's easy to stay in that comfort zone. And another good quote, I believe it's from Ido Portal. I think I said his name right there. Apologize if I didn't. So he said something along the lines of, we only get old when we stop playing, right? That's probably not word for word what he said, but it's such an important point that plays directly into this, because just think about it. As we age and we kind of get out of the childhood, right? We go into adulthood. We stop focusing on having a good time playing, romping around with our friends outside, getting dirty, playing out in the woods or in a field. And we become so comfortable in our homes and sitting on the couch and sitting at our desk and doing as little as possible to remain happy and comfortable. And that could be a trap. So I love the words in here, challenging yourself, right? If you really want to change your life, if you want to live an exceptional life, you will have to challenge yourself. The only way to instill those new habits is to put yourself in that uncomfortable area where your brain's going to fight you, because your brain's been conditioned and wired to certain habits, right? Your brain's number one goal is really safety. And then the second is going to be efficiency and automation and whatnot. It doesn't care if you're happy or having a good time. It just wants to keep you alive. If that means making you sit on the couch every day, although you may end up dying a lot sooner if you do that because you become so sedentary. But anyways, I digress. So let's hop back into the article here and continue on with these powerful words. Great life, work, or art, like a healthy financial portfolio, takes time to mature. Your best work and life is ahead of you and will emerge with patient attention, time, and strategic action. And you are the only one that can push yourself a little bit further. That's important. Let me say that again. And you are the only one that can push yourself a little bit further. That's just a good reminder not to depend on anyone else but yourself. Don't rely on anyone outside of you for your happiness, and don't rely on anyone outside of you to push you. They may push you. You may have a boss or a spouse, and that's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, bring it back to yourself, challenge yourself, and make it a point to challenge yourself and take yourself into uncomfortable situations purposefully, and you will see great things start to happen. I've done it, and I continue to do it. So, all right, back to the article. In an interview with Outside Magazine, Dean Karnazes, the ultramarathon man and author of Ultramarathon Man, Confessions of an All-Night Runner, made a profound statement. Western culture has things a little backwards right now. We think that if we had every comfort available to us, we'd be happy. We equate comfort with happiness. And now we're so comfortable, we're miserable. There's no struggle in our lives, no sense of adventure. We get in a car, we get in an elevator, it all comes easy. What I've found is that I'm never more alive than when I'm pushing and I'm in pain and I'm struggling for high achievement. And in that struggle, I think there's a magic. You have to practice even when it hurts. If you're not growing, you're dying. Anthony Robbins. The simple fact of the matter is that most of the time, we are inconsistent. You have to keep challenging yourself, keep pushing yourself beyond your limits. I can guarantee that if you set a schedule for any task and start sticking to it, there will be days when you feel like quitting. That never goes away. But the ultimate goal will keep you sane, and progress will be your ultimate motivation. Stepping up when it's annoying or painful or draining builds character. Be good at making time for what matters to you, especially when you don't feel like it. So that's such a powerful way to end that article, such great insight there, right? And so the reason I wanted to read this article, and I've already mentioned several reasons, but one of the main reasons I wanted to just do an audio recording about this and put some of my own context around it is because this is truly going to underpin what this podcast is all about. And that's becoming an ambassador of your life, taking life by the horns, making it what you want to make it, being the person you want to be without worrying about what other people think. This underpins everything we're going to be talking about. Changing your life for the better, living an exceptional life in mind, body, and spirit. I'm going to say it time and again. There is comfort in discomfort. When you start to try to change your life and make these changes that are going to have profound effects on your life, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to run into that discomfort. Your brain's going to fight you. And so what you're going to start to realize is that there is true freedom and empowerment on the other side of the discomfort, and that the comfort zone is just an illusion that keeps you stuck where you're at. So if this resonates with you, then I would love it if you liked and subscribed, and feel free to join me and start your journey on living an exceptional life, being the person you want to be. We're going to have more content coming soon, and thanks for listening. Have a great day.